Okay, I got my buffaloes painted on there. Let's just take him apart now. There you can see my buffaloes. They go right around the robe. This one here kind of disappears off there. So that looks pretty good. All right, so I think she's looking good. So now comes the part of putting him together. Now again, we're going to use this gel, and I'm also going to use just a little bit of this here. Gel dries kind of cloudy. So what I'm going to do now is use this, because when I do the eyes, let me squeeze out a little here. Don't need much at all. This is 5-minute epoxy. You can get this down at Lowe's. Get you about the same, like that. And stir it up. This epoxy is pretty forgiving. You can, you can miss the 50-50 a little bit and still get a good bond. It just might take, it either might go off quicker or take a little bit longer to set up. What I'm going to do now is, a lot of people, they'll paint their eyes. Well, it doesn't show up very well, does it? I think that's a little better. They'll paint their eyes and they'll put little white dots on them. Well, I don't do that. I dip my toothpick and I just touch that black spot a couple times and watch what happens. See the white spot show up? Give me another dot here. Don't take much at all. Judy's got the camera in the way. I can't see what I'm doing. A little more there. I'm trying to be very careful because I don't want to get it into the, there we go. There, see his eyes now? See how they sparkle? Now no matter how you turn this, see how the white spot changes as you move the carving? Just like it would if it was a real glass eye. All right, and all it takes is a couple little spots of epoxy and it just brings the piece alive, okay? So let's get those out of there. Thanks for that. Take these out. Squeeze some of this out. We'll need quite a bit of it. You can see how the one is kind of cloudy. And this has a tendency to get stiff. But if you just take a heat, my hair dryer works, and just kind of heat it up a little bit. I always do that. I hate that. Then I get it on my fingers. It's hell getting old, I'll tell you. I gotta get that off. Okay, back again. If you get this stuff on you, lacquer thinner is about the only way to get rid of it off of your fingers. But boy, I tell you, you got to get it off your fingers, because if you have to go take a trip to the bathroom for a pee, and you still have that on your finger, you're going to be in a sad situation. Not that it's going to glue everything together, it's just that it's going to irritate some pretty sensitive skin. Just a little bit of medical advice there. See how this is cloudy? That's what I say. That's why I use that clear stuff on the eyes, because this isn't going to show. Alright, I'm going to get a little on my toothpick here. Go down into the hole. Trying not to get any on the outside of the hole if I can. And I'll take my dowels and stick them down in there. Like that. I'm going to put a little more on that one. Okay. I'm going to take some here. When I drilled these holes into the basswood, I kind of use the drill to kind of wiggle them around, wiggle the drill around a little to give it some slop, so when I put it together, you know, things will match up. Alrighty. Whoop. Hang on here. Last thing I want is some of this glue to seep out and show on the edge. So put that on there. There we go. Alright. Now I take some more of this. Kind of work a little fast, because this sets up pretty quick. It don't take much of it to get it going. I got lots of space down in there. Pull it out just to see how much we've got. I know it looks like a mess, but you know, you only get one chance to do this, so you got to do it right. We got lots of room down in there, so I'm going to just load it up. That ought to be good right there, and it's starting to go off. So set that in place. Get her positioned. Looks good, nothing's showing. And that will do it. Make sure she's sitting good and tight. Yep, she is. So, that's good. Now let me get my chair here. We don't have that much light here, but matter of fact, I think we'll go back over to the paint table. Okay, there he is. He's all finished. I think he turned out pretty good. There are improvements that I could do. I wish I would have done a little better job on the horses, but like I say, you know, It's been a while since I've done that much painting. There is one area that could be improved on. I got him sitting on a coffee can here, trying to give you a better view of him. I'm going to use a little bit of raw sienna here, hopefully, to touch up right in here. Especially up in there. That area right there is kind of a muddy color, which I don't think looks good at all, so I'm just going to change it just a little. There, that looks 100% better. Do the same over here. Much better. Okay, now let's take a look at it. Our fur top turned out pretty good. The inside of the robe color turned out pretty good. I like the buffaloes, they really look nice. On the braids, I originally thought that I was going to paint the braids with an acrylic medium, just a clear acrylic medium, sort of like Mod Podge that you can buy down at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and then put a texturizing sand on the braids to make it look like fur. But I'm glad I left it just red. It looks a lot better than that. You know, I mean, that fur technique is really nice, but this looks pretty nice too, especially for this one here, because you get this definition of color from the brown to the red. It makes the red really stand out. I'm really glad I changed the color of the wrap around the hat up here. And after I varnished it, I came back with my gold and I touched up the feathers. You can see they're really bright now, to where they they're snappy. On the back here, these feathers are still a little bright. I will have to tone those things down, which I will, that's no biggie. I overcolored my raw sienna with straight yellow, and before I'm all finished, I'm going to kind of highlight that with some white, which will make it look more texturized. That'll look nice. He's got a nice sparkle to his eyes. Can you see how those spots move around?
No.
You can't?
I have to have.
Yeah, you can. See how they're over on the...
Keep turning it.
So you know, watch it move across. See how they move? Judy said his hat brim was down, but I like that. I mean, that looks nice. That's the way they would wear it, down like that. The base looks pretty good. I've got its name tag right here. Hopefully you can see that. No reflection. Like I say, you know, a base is like a frame around the painting. It's going to make that painting look 100% better than if it had no frame at all. A base makes your carvings more professional, which is what I like. And a name tag makes them even more professional. Now, this name tag will go right on there like that. Don't be surprised if the name tag doesn't change, or the name doesn't change, because I started out with this being White Eagle, but then when I put the horses on here on one side and the buffalo on the other side, White Eagle just doesn't seem to fit in there anymore. So I'm going to have to come up with some other name that, you know, sort of amplifies or corresponds with the carving itself, and it'll look a lot better then. So this guy turned out really nice. I'm pleased with him. And I hope you are too. So, until next time we get another project going, and I have no idea what that will be, I will talk to you later.